Hey friends, so I was cleaning up and realized that I had a book haul that I never shared with you. This is a Christmas book haul and one recent oopsie, we'll call it. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute. So when I was visiting my sister, she gave me a gift card for the bookstore that I like up there. And I was looking specifically for the correspondence, which was my book club book, is my book club book for January for Krista at Books and Jams. Her Patreon reading that. And I ended up talking with one of the booksellers at this store who's been there for years. I've seen her for years. And we just ended up talking about authors, and we had similar, like she would show me a book and, oh yeah, I read that. That was great. You know, authors that I liked. And we just ended up, having a great chat. And two of these I bought with the gift card from my sister, and then one of them I bought for myself. But this was all done in December. I just forgot to tell you all about them. One of the authors that the bookseller recommended was Tiffany McDaniel. And I have Tiffany McDaniel's book Betty from Book of the Month. They had an edition of that back when it came out. So I ended up getting On the Savage Side, which was recommended by the bookseller. And this is about twins with red hair and a thirst for escape. They form an unbreakable bond nurtured by their grandmother's stories. Together, they disappear into their imaginations and forge a world of their own. But what they can't escape are the generational ghosts that haunt their family. Growing up in the shadow of their rural Ohio town, the sisters cling tightly to each other. Years later, one of them wrestles with the memories of her early life, just as a local woman is discovered drowned in the river. Then more bodies are found, her friends disappear, and she's forced to reckon with the past while the killer circles closer. And she's trying to keep her and her sister safe. So I want to read Tiffany McDaniel. I just have heard that it's really emotional and that Tiffany McDaniel's an amazing writer. Do you have any writers that you hear are just so amazing that you hold off on reading them because you feel like it's going to be just a full-on experience that can either break you or, I don't know. That's sometimes what I think of some authors that I haven't tried yet. And Tiffany McDaniel is one of them, but I now own 2 of her books and I need to read them. Okay, and the other book that the bookseller recommended is Lark Ascending by Silas House. And she was telling me about how Silas House would bring his beagle to book signings and have the beagle just like bring the dog bed and have the beagle lay down near him. And of course, this one has a beagle on it. I've heard things about Silas House, more recent things, but I went ahead and got this one. With fires devastating much of America, Lark and his family first leave their home in Maryland for Maine. But as the country increasingly falls under the grip of religious nationalism, it becomes clear that nowhere is safe, not just from physical disasters, but also persecution. The family secures a place on a crowded boat headed to Ireland, the last place on earth rumored to be accepting American refugees. Upon arrival, it turns out the safe harbor of Ireland no longer exists either, and Lark, the sole survivor of the transatlantic voyage, must disappear into the countryside. Okay, I don't want to read anymore. That's intense. I'm sure, okay, definitely a cover by, definitely a story by, from the story from the bookseller that I don't think I read the back of that, but it sounds really good. And then I did get a Maggie O'Farrell book that I don't have. This is The Distance Between Us. On a cold February afternoon, Stella catches sight of a man she hasn't seen for many years, but instantly recognizes, or thinks she does. At the same moment, on the other side of the globe, in the middle of a crowd of Chinese New Year revelers, Jake realizes that things are becoming dangerous. Don't want to read any more than that. I think this is more a contemporary Maggie O'Farrell. I've enjoyed her historical fiction probably a little bit more than her contemporary books, but I like those as well. And then I had to special order a couple of books that I wanted at my local indie bookstore. They didn't have them in stock. One of them is Instructions for Traveling West, which is poems by Joyce Sullivan. I read some of these on online and really liked them. It's been a while since I've read a poetry collection. I do enjoy poetry collections. So we'll definitely get to that one. The Wisdom of Your Body, Finding Healing, Wholeness, and Connection Through Embodied Living by Hilary L. McBride. I had heard some good things about this book, and it was referenced in another book I read, so wanted to get a copy of that. And then this one I've seen some folks on booktube talk about. This is Moving Mountains, Writing Nature Through Illness and Disability. It's an essay collection edited by Louise Kenward. It's basically, 25 pieces. Offer a vision of nature that encompasses the close-up, the microscopic, and the vast. From a single falling raindrop to the enormity of the north wind, this is nature experienced wholly and acutely, written from the perspective of disabled and chronically ill authors. Has essays from Polly Atkin, I'm not sure if she says it like that, Eli Clare, Hannah Hodgson's, a couple other, Abby Palmer, that, Alice Tarbuck as well. Just some writers in the disability community that I've read before. So, and cover award for sure. I think that's it. I did get, when I got back from my sister's, Barnes & Noble was having their 50% off some hardback books. And I did a haul of those in my last reading vlog, so I will link that below for you. But that's it. Oh, the Oopsie book. Okay, so let's talk about the Oopsie book. I want to collect Jamie Sumner books. Jamie Sumner is one of my favorite middle grade authors. So the other day, I was sort of killing a little time between a doctor's appointment and an infusion. And yeah, I went to the bookstore. Okay, so I went to the Half Price Books, and I was specifically looking for a copy of John Steinbeck's East of Eden. I wanted to get a used copy if I got one, because I want to be able to annotate it. They did not have any. They had several copies of The Grapes of Wrath, which I have a copy. The copy I have of The Grapes of Wrath and several other Steinbeck books are old. They were my mother's hardback. I don't want to write in them. They're kind of, a memory connection to my mom. So I was looking for just a basic used copy of East of Eden because I would like to read that this year. And like I said, they didn't have any. And I went back to look at clearance just to double check, because sometimes if a copy's really beat up, they'll put it in the clearance section for a couple dollars. They didn't have it there, but they did have a Jamie Sumner book that I've been looking for a while, just a used copy of it. It was the first Jamie Sumner book I read, and it was on clearance for $2. So it's not really buying a book to add to my TBR because I've read it already, but it was $2 and I want to own all of Jamie Sumner's books, and that is The Summer of June. Also love the cover, but if you're looking for a book in the middle grade age range that takes a good look at anxiety, I would highly recommend The Summer of June. I do have a couple of pre-orders that I purchased last year that are coming out in the first quarter of this year, and I will be talking more about those in my anticipated reads. I don't normally do anticipated reads because so many people on BookTube do them and can just point you to them. However, I keep seeing there's a number of my favorite authors that are coming out with new books in 2026. And then when I start looking at them, I find more of authors that either I've heard of or books that sound really good to me. And so this year, I am gonna do anticipated reads, and I will be coming out, I've been researching it, and I'll be coming out with that video during the week. So if you haven't subscribed already and you'd like to see that, consider subscribing here. You can do the notifications. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. From what my own experience with BookTube or YouTube in general. But that's us. We're doing well. I do have the cat right here who, for those who are not on Instagram, say hello. For those who aren't on Instagram, I do have a cat update. Say hi, Hopper. Yeah, he hates it when I hold him up. He has the side of his neck is shaved. I mentioned that he was going for a surgery. It was a dental cleaning, and they were pretty sure that one tooth needed to come out, and then they were going to take the lump off of the side of his neck, which has been there for years, because when he had his last surgery last year, around the time I moved, he had a lump taken off his ear, and it was cancerous. Since we were putting him under anesthesia, the vet thought, okay, let's just take off the one on the neck. I'm not, because of his age and everything, I'm not doing chemotherapy or anything for the cancer. And he's acting fine. He's almost 16. But when they shaved him down during the surgery, they found that the lump is really close to the jugular vein, and it would be too risky to take it off. And even the vet said, she was like, I would send you to a surgeon to do it because of where it is. And it's been there for years. And so I just decided, okay, let's not do it. So he got his tooth removed, lost a tooth and kept the lump. And he's doing fine. He's awesome, and now has a new haircut. He's trying to set trends in the cat world with the side of the neck shaved. But yeah, that's how he's doing. We're all doing well. I hope you are doing well, and thank you for being here, and I'll see you soon. Bye.